Hey,
How did you change that fast?
and welcome to an episode of Chopping It Up. What do you mean change? I've been dressed like this entire time. This is where I bring on most dope people in the football community, and we just chat some football. So if you're listening to this episode, and around like 10 minutes and 30 seconds of this episode is going to cut off. And that's because you're not subscribed to our Patreon. $6 a month gets you tons of content. You're gonna see our guests. We're gonna talk about our guests. I'm repping. Let's go. Bundesliga. Let's go. Some football, German football. It's been a long time. Super excited to the homie. I'm supposed to be pushing Patreon, so subscribe. $6 a month. Amazing content. Love this. But I'm just here excited to talk to my friend. I'm going to tell a story that I don't think I've told him. Or maybe I have. Him and I, he started 50 Plus Stoner not much before I started Shades of Blue. And there are a few other podcasts that I've podcast with Black people hosting it. I'm trying not to call it a Black podcast because it's just a podcast. And I bumped into him and seeing the way that the show's incredibly engaging. That's it. That's the easiest way to say it. It's engaging. It's fun. It's innovative. More so because he's a creative. Well, more so because he's a creative, but also because the way that Bundesliga are with their rights, he has to be. But that is something that's amazing with the people in our culture. You know, we are forced to make greatness out of whatever we can get. And 50 Plus Donor is a very good example of that. I was missing a football community very much where I live. I was just kind of getting into soccer Twitter, football Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And then really just seeing the way that he did his content, because a lot of the city podcasts, respectfully, it's just, we're talking about football and what we've seen. And I just couldn't see myself, even though I dearly wanted to start a football podcast, I just couldn't see myself doing it. Like, obviously I could do it, but I couldn't see myself. And then seeing him just like having this content, having like the people who fuck with 50 Plus Donor fuck with 50 Plus Donor. And so just seeing a chat that was just connecting and having fun, and the rapport, just like laughing, learning. They're talking real football though. Like, don't get it twisted, but it is very fun. And that really was a huge push. It was seeing him do his thing. Then my trip to Houston for the Man City preseason, connecting with a bunch of other city content creators and feeling their warm embrace, whether it was, real or not. I still felt it. And those are the things that really pushed me. So you can partially thank our guest today for me being here doing my thing. And to think that I really do call him a friend now. It's really cool. Him.
Well, yeah, I saw a Manchester derby with you, so
that's right.
We are officially friends.
Yeah, he went and watched English football for me, and I did. I felt very special. I felt seen. So Shady Gang, give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Jay.
I'm not going to match up to that intro.
You absolutely are. Goodness. One thing about him is he undersells himself constantly. So whenever I'm anywhere near him, I just parade him with compliments and nice words.
And that's literally what it looks like when you're doing that.
You're great. You're fantastic. That brain of yours, your love and passion for the game. Just keep going.
And then you turn into Demon Crunk when it comes to Bears Packers, but I shouldn't have even brought that
up. Contain multitudes. Oh, friend, how are you? How are things?
I'm all right, man. It's been an interesting start to the German soccer season on multiple levels. I don't know what time people are watching this now, but Champions League today was quite interesting with Dortmund doing Dortmund stuff. So it's all good over here.
Oh, I love it. And so understandably, most of our listeners are Premier League based. So having you on, and I'm sure most of these questions on here are very much like, oh, they're very basic German football questions, but they're good to hear. It's always a good first step into the game for our listeners to hear, and also be able to talk some shit. And the final question is inspired by the way that 50 plus donor do things. So when we get there, I will they'll get it. But
I
first,
haven't scrolled down to see it just so I can freshly brain think about it.
I love it.
That was not a sentence, but
hey, we know what you didn't mean. That was my physics teacher used to always say that. I know what you don't mean. How did you fall in love with football?
Well, sometimes I ask myself that as well, depending on what game I'm watching. But I think it really hit a love point for me when I lived in Germany. I lived in a town near Cologne called Bonn. And I'd always kind of watched it because my grandfather is from Germany. And just like a lot of my friends in college like it and stuff like that. But I think it really hit for me when I was watching with people in Germany. The first kind of like bar thing I went to, I watched Gladbach versus Cologne with a bunch of people at like a bar in Bonn, and just seeing how, when you grow up on American sports and things like that, you kind of have like this idea of what a fan base is.
Yeah.
And then you hit soccer and you're like, okay, like, and that's not to I don't know if we can curse. That's not to
Hell yeah, we can.
Okay, that's not to shit on American fan bases because I think they there are special things about them, but
Yes.
I think when you see the passion level that the average soccer fan has for their team, it is just contagious, and that really did kind of really push me into soccer. And it's been an uphill battle ever since.
The German football, that was one of the things that stuck out to me the most, where it can be first tier, second tier, third tier. Not only are their stadiums just like, it'll be a third tier team, and for some reason their stadium holds like 50,000 people. It's like, that makes no sense. And it packs it every single time. It's just history, it's culture. They don't stop. Where in the Premier League, there are teams like where in other leagues there's like ultras, so there's just like one section where the people are rooting and cheering the entire time, whereas German football, it's like the whole stadium is just rocking the entire time. It's good vibes. That is what stuck out. I became a Werder Bremen fan. Green is like my favorite color. I chose that, and then when I started liking them, it was when they had like Claudio Pizarro and Mertesacker, which
the boy, the murderer, dude, I love Per Mertesacker.
Like, he was just giant, massive. Like, don't ask him to like move too quickly or have to like chase anybody down. But if anybody was near him, the ball was near him, lockdown and shut down.
He was a positioning god, though.
Yeah,
like it's pretty similar to like Mats Hummels, who used to play for Dortmund. He's somewhere else now, obviously, but like, he's slower than the earth turns. Yes. But that man, you're not going to get past him.
No, like, somehow, some way. Yeah.
Somehow you just are not getting past him.
Just a giant human being. And it just amazed me, because I was like, how can a guy this tall play football? Like, this makes no sense. And then their kits just always were just so cool. It stuck out. The green and orange, for some reason, I very much like it.
Yeah.
Some people might think it's hideous. I love that. Well, so close enough to call. Were there any other clubs that possibly could have taken? Because you watched Cologne. Was it you had no choice but to be a Cologne fan, or?
So it was mostly Dortmund, actually, because that's where my grandfather is from. So that's kind of like what I grew up with. And Dortmund and Cologne have like a fan friendship, so it wasn't that shocking to my grandfather. But I mean, I wasn't really like, I don't know. I guess like, how do I explain this? Like, Cologne was interesting because I think if you ask any fan who's like not from there, there's just something very contagious about like not just the city but like the